Hello there and welcome. My name is Jimmy Wikman, and in today's video we're going to talk a little bit about the changes that started rolling out on February the 15th. And this one is related to the different roles or the groups that we have for different types of activities within the Atlassian platform. And they are making quite a big change for this one, so I think it's best if we jump into the article and go through them so you can see what kind of changes is happening. And so you can plan also for this in your instances. So let's jump over to the community article. So here we are now in the Atlassian community article that was written by Vicky Almer. And what they are saying now then is that on February 15th, which was last Wednesday, when I'm recording this one, it is Friday. And what they are doing then is they are transitioning the cloud customers to a new enhanced view and also a new user management experience. And when they are doing this, it occurs for all the single-site organizations and will continue to the multi-site organizations. So if you only have one site in your organization, then you will see this one first. And if you have, like I do, multiple ones, then you will see a little bit later. And what this one will do is that it will change a little bit on the user roles or the user groups basically that we have. And this one has been announced previously, so if you missed this one, and this is now a good opportunity to catch up on this one. But let's start with then the users themselves. So we have the basic users, they will remain the same. So these are your basic users that you provide a role for and give them access to your products. They will have no change whatsoever. They will still remain exactly the way they are today. Trusted users, however, was something that we used to have. That was, we said that they were a little bit more trustworthy than our basic users, which kind of weird, because why should they be more trusted? But what they meant is then that we can provide them a little bit more responsibilities. We trust them a little bit more that they will not screw everything up. And so they could then access, configure, and add products. And trusted users will go away. As you can see here, that they will discontinue trusted user role when they migrate it over. So everyone that have this role today will then be migrated over to a product admin role instead. So you should go through all of your trusted users today and making sure that this is appropriate, that it's okay for them to become product admins in the future. So this one is the first big change that we have. So I think it's good that we no longer have on the user side that we have more trusted ones, that we have basic ones, and that we have some kind of tier there. I think this one, if you are a trusted user, then you should have another type of role that should be in the management section, not in the user section. So I think this is good. But when they are transitioned over then to a product admin, and then they will no longer have access to Atlassian administration. So that's good to know, and that they cannot actually go to the admin section. So this one you should have already reviewed, but if you haven't done it yet, make sure that you check it now when it's starting to roll over, so you don't accidentally have disgruntled users, that people that used to have access to different things will now come to you and complain, or if you have people that should not have admin access to your products and now you have it, then you might have a security issue. You want to take that one very seriously and go through these ones right away. So those were for the basic user roles, or for the user roles, as when you used to have two and now you only have one. And when we talk about admin roles, so then you have the highest one that you have is obviously the organization admins. These are the people that can handle everything in your organization, so they have access to everything, all products, billing and stuff like that. So these one you should be very, very careful with. So if you have anyone in there that should not be there, kick them out immediately and make sure that they instead get one of the other accesses. So the other one is site admins, and these one were previously announced that we will get rid of, but they are now back, it seems. So they can now manage the billing, their products, and manage apps. So they are basically the top managers, but they don't have access to the users. So that is very important for you to know. So all your financial people and all the people that are responsible for adding products and manage apps, which should be very few in your organization, and they should now have the site admins. So if you have someone that have this role, they will now be automatically assigned all current site admins to also be user access admins. And that is the second one. So if you used to have this one, now you will also have this one, and this is a new role. And this one will allow you then to manage users. So you can grant them access, you can kick them out, you can basically help managing the users themselves. And they have very limited access then to Atlassian administration. So they can only manage user access and the product, and it is only user access for the products that they administrate. So in the new view, and we will show you what the new views will look like soon, when you assign someone to be a user access admin, that is per product. So you can be user access admin in Jira Software, but you cannot be it, and you can have no role whatsoever for Confluence, for example. So this is a good way, for example, to provide product ownership if you have someone that is responsible to make sure that Confluence, for example, is working. And you can also have specific roles depending on what kind of activities they actually do. So if you want to have someone, let's say you have an organization with multiple products, so you can have 3 or 4 Jiras, for example, Jira Software in this case, then you can actually assign both of these roles to a person, and that person then will be managing one of those products. And someone else can manage the other 4 then, if you want. But on top of it, we will have the organization admins that will then be the kings and queens of everything that happens in the organization. And they have made us a little matrix here, so it should be easy for us to just check the role that is currently there and see what happens to it. So for basic user, we already said no change. For trusted users, they will be migrated over then to product admin roles instead, so basically site admins. And organization admin, we will not change. We will still be the divine gods of everything that happens in the organization. Site admin, they will now, they used to have more responsibilities or more areas that they can actually manage than what they will have after the change. So you probably want to have them, giving them dual responsibilities or dual access. So the first one will then be site admin, and the other one will be user access admin. And then product admin, and this is the one where you actually just have ownership of a specific product and you don't have access then to Atlassian administration. So these are the role changes that have started to roll out now on the 15th, and that is not the only thing that will change. So you can see here on the views here, and that we actually have the UI will actually change also. So if you take a look at this one is the previous one that we used to have. So it will now give you user management, and you have the users like this. And the new one, let's see if I can scroll it here, will look a little bit different. So now you will actually have, this one will be focused on the users, and you will have a count here, and you can search. So you can see if you compare these two, they have a little bit of difference. And when you start seeing this view, then you know that you are on the new user management part. And for the user details, when you click on each user, you will also see that you have a difference. The old one had basically the access here, and then you have the account card here. So the new one is that you instead have the account card basically on the left side with a little bit more information, and then you have all the products available in your organization and what kind of access they have for each. So that way it's easier then to see and to oversee everything that is happening. And then when we look at the invitation page, when you want to invite people, you also see that we have a little bit of a difference here. So rather than having it individually for each product, and we now have it instead, so you will have invitation, and then you will give all the products, and you can set now their role into each of the products. So in one big swoop, you can now give them access to multiple products, and you can also provide them different roles then based on the new setup for this one. And the last one is the product access view. So when you go and check the product access, and then you can see then what kind of groups do you have for this one. And now you will see a little bit more detailed view where you also have a little bit of count, which is good. So you can keep track on how many users actually are using your different products. So that is the first step that they are doing right now, and I think this is a step in the right direction. I think the roles make sense. I think trusted users was not a very good one to have because it wasn't clear exactly what that meant. And I think these 3 levels is good. You have one org admin, you have one that will be more on the top administration part, and then you have one that is down in the dirty gritty one handling the users. And you can combine these two then to represent someone that is having the full ownership. So I think this is a good one, and I've had this one for quite a while actually on one of my instances. I think this one was default when I created it, and I like this a lot more than the old one. But I am curious to hear what you think, if you think this is a good change or if you think it's a bad change. And I also would like to see if you had actually seen this one, or if this one is something that you missed. So that was all that we had for this one. I hope you haven't had any problems with your current setup when it comes to these roles. And I also hope that this one will be something that you find as good as I do, more in line with how I think about organization from a management perspective. And I hope that this one will go even further in the future, so we get more granularity and we can actually have one of the comments down here where it's, for example, how do we handle billing manager, for example, the person who is responsible for the payment, because right now that one is kind of baked into this one. And like that person who made that comment, I also would like to see this one separate, because we have, or most of the companies I worked with, the person who is in charge of finance should have nothing to do with managing anything in the platform itself. They should just be able to go in there and see all the financial information. So the idea that they can now add products and manage apps, I'm not very happy with either. So I would like to see that one coming in the future, to have a separation of financial responsibility from the application and from the product management. But other than that, I like this change. I think the new UI looks good. I think it's a pretty good and decent change that I'm really in favor of, actually. So the question is just then, how do you feel about it? Is it a good change, or is it something that you would like to see evolve even further? So besides splitting out the billing, what else would you like to see? I know a lot of people are using groups, for example. Would you like to see some kind of role where you can group manage? That would also be interesting to see, because that could fall then into the line of user access admin. And rather than having that ability to then give access to different projects, to give them different roles within the platforms, maybe we could have one that is called group access admin, and then we can have a group management admin. So that person then can manage one or more groups. That could solve one of the biggest problems that we have in the Atlassian platform right now, and that is that groups are black holes and no one really knows who is having access to them. But that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I also hope you liked the changes. But for now, I think the only thing that is left for me to say in this video is that I hope that you have an awesome day and a great week.